Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another speed build video. So today I'm doing a collaboration with Stephanie from Simarchy. I will put a link down below to her channel. Make sure you go check her out. So Stephanie has been doing a series where she will build a house and then you get to furnish it. So I think a while ago I asked her if she could build me a French chateau inspired building. And this is what she has come up with. So it's very big. I love how the front of the house kind of like opens up onto the first floor rather than the ground floor. It just means that there's like a very nice entrance room. But yeah, so I did a little bit of this building off camera, just the very beginning of it, because I knew I wanted to put in like a very like open 2 floor kind of like entrance room. So it takes me a while to like figure out what to do. So a few of the bits were done off camera. Also, this build is very slightly different to what Stephanie built, just because I wanted to add more turrets just to give it more of a French theme. And also I kind of like sorted out the floor plan beforehand as well, just because it just tends to get a bit tedious sometimes with like sorting out where your rooms are going to go. So I absolutely loved doing the furnishing for this house. Once again, like when I do builds, I really enjoy doing buildings that are different to what I usually do. Like a lot of the time you can just get caught up in doing like really modern houses, and doing something like this is quite refreshing. I love how the whole interior is very like warm. The lightings that I've used are the chandeliers from the Vampires game pack, and it just kind of gives every room like a really nice warm glow. Also, it's quite refreshing as well not to like include a house which has lots of technology. So a lot of the rooms that I furnish in this build mostly include like a nice fireplace, like especially the rooms with the turrets at the front of the house. So they all have like a very nice sitting area with nice fire. At the moment I am working on the kind of like library room, so lots of bookshelves, lots of like very nice decorations. Also, actually, another thing that I changed very quickly with this is some of the windows. I do keep a lot of them the same, but I kind of felt like in some of the entrance rooms I needed windows that were a bit bigger just to let more light in. So some of the windows like at the bottom floor and around the back, I have just changed them for something a little bit bigger. Just kind of feel like it just needed a little bit more natural light coming in. So this build was very inspired by, like, basically I've designed it so it's like a nice French chateau. So apart from this room, a lot of the colours that I include in the build are very like pale pinks, pale blues, and like nice like lighter colours rather than using like darker colours. And I kind of feel like the French design in this is it's rather cool. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just very nice being able to use like all the expensive items and not actually having a budget for it. So I think the price of this chateau is around, I think it's around 300,000 simoleons. So it's not on the cheap side. Like, I didn't limit myself in what I put in the rooms or anything, even though we don't have like the big massive TVs. I think if I did like modernize it and put in TVs as well, then the price of this would have been so much more. But yeah, I've been wanting to do like a French chateau sort of house for a while, and I think the fact that this is a collaboration, it just made it so much easier. and it just means that doing like a bigger build, you don't have to like split the video up in two. It is then, you know, you do it, the exterior was done on Stephanie's channel and now the build is on mine. But yeah, so we're just working on the first sitting room area, I suppose you could call it. In this room we go for a nice blue theme. It's very fancy. One thing that I found when I was just like looking up like ideas for this is that like rooms are decorated so beautifully. There's lots of flowers everywhere and lots of like, basically, yeah, it's not too fussy with items, it's just fussy with flowers, and I think it really like brings out the room. So let me know down below in the comments what you thought of this, whether you like older style houses, I suppose, or whether like more modern houses are your thing. I'm going to be trying to do like a mixture of both and potentially do like, I don't know, maybe like more older houses but mixed in with like newer interiors, but we'll see. I did find it quite easy with this house to actually fill up the space because there's so many items that are available to use from like the vampire pack, or I think like the cats and dogs, because it's all quite rustic and it's quite nice just to like create nice little crooks in the building which are like just for like sitting down and relaxing and probably like socializing. I did place this lot on the, it's the one in Windenburg where it's like community lot. I can't remember what it's actually called. It might be a chateau itself, who knows, but I think I probably did improve it quite a lot. But yeah, so that was pretty much the first floor. So from that first floor you go down to the ground floor, and then you obviously have an entrance out to the garden, and then because it's based on that that lot in Windenburg which has the beautiful maze at the back, it works quite nicely because it's, rather than doing like even more to the landscaping around the back, it's kind of like already like set out for me, I suppose. But downstairs on the ground floor we have a lovely little dining room, and I think it was quite nice just to make a really nice long table, put in the tables together just to make a very nice like banquet room, I suppose you could call it. But yeah, I did share a picture of this on Twitter quite a while ago, saying that it will probably take me forever to finish furnishing and getting the video out on YouTube. So I'm quite pleased that I managed to get this done within 2 weeks of Simarchy's video going out on her own channel. So yeah, so I've been trying my hardest just to like get builds out as soon as I can. But obviously I do sometimes struggle to finish builds in time. So in this little part we are just layering up some curtains. You know, obviously just trying to use items that I don't use, so it's quite nice to, like, I love putting curtains in my builds. Like, I used to think that it was just a very silly thing to do, but it just makes a room look so much more natural, I suppose. And also just using, because there's like a lot of wall space in this, I'm trying to use photos on the walls that I'm trying not to use like the same photo multiple times. So it is good with some of the new photos that we have. They come with multiple swatches and each swatch is a different picture. So it does actually make using photos around the house a bit more original, and you don't just have the same one around everywhere. Because obviously, because this house is like a big fancy 18th century style chateau, obviously you wouldn't have like, I suppose you wouldn't have the same photo in every single room, if you get what I'm saying. I think I'm going off on a tangent a little bit. But anyway, so now we're just moving on to the kitchen. The kitchen is obviously for the kitchen staff. Obviously this house would have its own, I don't know if you would call it servants perhaps, but they would have obviously a butler and kitchen staff which would work in here, and they would serve food to all of the house's guests, I suppose you could say. So we put in a big double cooker. I suppose that is one thing. I know we have the cooker from Dine Out, but that's more like an industrial cooker. But I think it would be great one day to have a double size cooker. Maybe like an Aga type thing. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, so in terms of the design of the kitchen, obviously the money has not been spent in here. The walls are a lot more plainer, and I've tried to use items that are more old-fashioned. I kind of wish I had for this build the Jungle Adventure Pack. I still at the moment haven't downloaded it and played with it yet, but I do think in there is a very nice fridge that can be used that would have been good to use in this pack. And potentially there would have been some quite nice tiles in that pack that would have been good, but at this point I have not bought it yet. I don't know when I'm going to buy it. I'm very excited to play with it, but yeah, I don't know. I just trying to focus on other sort of builds so far. So I just kind of want to discuss a little bit the future of my channel. I think I am going to try and switch it up a little bit. I really want to get to the point where I can upload more than one video a week. So I am working on some ideas to have a second video coming each week onto my channel. And I think at the moment that might be a challenge of some sort, but more of a let's play challenge. When I first started my channel, I was umming and ahhing for the longest time as to whether I would ever do a let's play, and I kind of think I thought that I wouldn't, just because when I play The Sims, my gameplay doesn't really advance very well, and I kind of just do the same, when I'm playing it, not really much happens. You may have found that from my current household video, although I am trying to work on it just to make it a little bit more interesting. So basically, as I was saying, I am potentially wanting to do some sort of challenge for my channel, just because I find it very hard. So basically, if my second video would have been another build, I would find it very hard to do a voiceover for it. So my idea is, if I were to record a challenge of some sort, then it would be a lot easier for me to record and get out near enough, potentially every week or so. So please let me know down below what sort of challenge you would like to see, whether it's the 100 baby challenge or maybe the not so berry challenge. I really do like the idea of the not so berry challenge, just because it makes you do gameplay that you wouldn't normally do, I suppose. So yeah, I would be actually quite interested in doing that one, but we'll see what you guys think down below, so please let me know. So at the moment, so moving back onto the build, we are in I would call this the formal sitting room. So basically the idea is, obviously you'd have your massive banquet in the room next door, and then you'd come through to here with all your guests, and obviously you'd have a little bit of drink. There is a little bar over there for helping yourself. So yeah, that is the idea. And then obviously here the whole entrance room is just very, very extravagant. I've used the black and white marble floor because I thought that would be like a nice French statement. Like, it's all marble, so I've said so many times that I love marble, but it's basically saying, look at me, I have so much money, come and spend the afternoon in my house and I will treat you, I will wine and dine you, and everything would be merry. At this point, I did realise that I had no bathrooms so far for the guests to use, so I kind of did these like separate little cubicles, I suppose, and the idea is that one would be for the women, one would be for the men, but they are pretty much the same. And this is where the vampire stuff comes in it's very handy, because it's all this like Victorian-esque objects, I suppose. So the toilet's not very modern, the sink's not very modern, and it just means that it works very well, and it comes in a very nice white and gold swatch. What I wanted to do with this build was like just fill it so much with gold items, just so like when people come and visit you, they would see this is an expensive house to live in, basically. So yeah, we're just basically filling up the hallway again with just like nice big photos that I haven't used around the place yet, and kind of do like the weird pedestal thing, which I'm not really that keen on because I kind of feel like the objects on top of them are a little bit small for it. But then again, I didn't really want to decrease the size of it. But yeah, as you can see, like everything has a very nice glow from it, from all the lovely lights that I use. And so next off, we will be moving upstairs to do the bedrooms. Upstairs has 4 bedrooms. Obviously, one is for a baby, one is for like more of a child, and then there's 2 grand big master rooms which both have an ensuite. And then also that long room at the front, which I added some bigger windows to. I think I added the vampire windows to them, which work very well with this sort of house. That ends up being like a massive bathroom, which I put 2 baths in, just because obviously, you know, you want to show that this house has a lot of money, so it has a lot of baths. In the 18th century, I'm guessing showers were not available, so showers have not been put in the bathrooms, although the bathrooms that I have made for this room and the other bedroom are all very similar. It's not really much design in there. I kind of just added some sunflowers because I thought that would be like a nice little addition to it. I do remember from like when I was playing, I think it must have been The Sims 2, you could always have this like little platform, which I would always for some reason put in the bathroom, and then I'd kind of like put my bath on top of it, and it was like quite a nice little like a show off stage, I suppose you could say, of like the grandeur of the bathroom. So I kind of tried to do that a little bit. Oh, basically, and what I was going to say is that I would always put in a sunflower on those as well, just to like kind of show it off a little bit. So I thought I would repeat that sort of sunflower style, I suppose. So these bedrooms all have a fireplace in them, apart from the 2 smaller rooms at the back. I love this bedroom, actually. I love the floor in it and I love the walls. I think the vampire pack had some very nice objects come with it. At the moment, I am just trying to like figure out the whole like layout of the room. Basically just because I wanted to include like a nice little sitting area, but also have everything else as well. So as well as like a chest of drawers and a dressing table. I think I basically designed this room to be a little bit more feminine, and then the other master bedroom is more masculine. So it kind of like caters for all in a way. but in both, oh God, there's a massive fly in my room. In both bedrooms, the beds are positioned in the far corner in the turret because I kind of thought it just kind of worked out a bit nicer over there. So basically now we're just moving on to the second bedroom, and the bathroom is pretty much the same, so I've just kind of skipped out furnishing that. I also love this floor as well. It kind of like makes your eyes hurt a little bit in some of the colours, but I think in this nice little like bluey and white carpet it works very nicely. In this room I have added a nice fancy writing desk, just because I kind of thought there was like, even though we have like the sort of library downstairs, I kind of realised that actually I didn't really put like a study, basically because there's no room for it, but I could have made some of the rooms a little bit smaller, but I didn't in the end, so therefore we've just put it in this room instead. So another pack that works very nicely with this is the Vintage Glamour. So I think the Vintage Glamour is kind of styled from like the 1920s sort of style, but a lot of it works very nicely in here. So we have the nice fireplace in the bedroom, as well as the bed that came from that pack as well. So yeah, so that is basically that bedroom. We are now just moving on to the second, or like the main bathroom, I should say. So I'm not going to cut this one out because it's actually a fairly big room, just to like show you. And yeah, so like the walls and the floor are all marble. As I was saying earlier as well, we have the 2 bathtubs. I kind of feel like if a family were to live in this house, then the 2 children would probably all be bathed at the same time. So that was kind of like the general idea of that. And there's like a very nice item, which I think is kind of like a hostess table, but it was quite nice just to place on all the like toiletries that you may need. So like perfume, towels, obviously decorated with nice flowers as well. So just moving on quickly to the hallway. One of the things that I have always found hard is like decorating hallways or landings, but with this one I actually found it quite easy, just basically because you can like fill the spaces with like nice comfortable chairs, and basically you can like fill the space with like nice comfortable chairs, and that kind of like works more nicely in a space like this. Like you don't have to include all technology and stuff like that. And yeah, it just makes the place look really fancy. So like for example, the wallpaper that I'm putting on now, it all just looks very fussy, but I think it completely works. Yeah, I don't know, I just really like how it turned out. I suppose you've got to like your own builds, otherwise what is the point of doing it? I do know people who say that they don't really, I don't know, I suppose I do it as well. Like I'm not always 100% pleased with what I do, but sometimes, and that's mostly sometimes because I'm in a rush, but I do really enjoy how this one turned out. Now moving on to like the children's room. I mostly hate doing children's rooms. That's why a lot of my builds do not include children's stuff. However, this one I suppose was okay. I don't own any of like the stuff packs which are for toddlers or for children, or like the Playdate one. I can't even remember which one that was called. So like my items for children are very limited. So basically, yeah, I normally find it very hard to like furnish the rooms. However, I just do like a very quick job on these ones. So the first child's room is decorated for a baby. It's all pink, so hopefully like the baby who would live here would be a girl. Otherwise, some of the swatches would need to be changed. The second room that I decorate is for a boy child, I suppose. It's kind of set up with just like an ordinary bed, and also obviously like the child has a very nice single bed in here, like one of the most expensive ones, But I've also put in like a desk and some like musical instruments because I kind of feel like obviously like children of those days would be like very academic. They come from a wealthy family, so they'd be like keen for him to do well. And in terms of toys, I don't really put in much. I put a lump of clay because that is all he can play with. I'm not, I've obviously decorated it with those like planes and a few like cars and trains. I'm not actually sure if they can be moved or not or played with, just because I hardly ever play with the game pack games from The Sims anyway, which is why I'm wanting to maybe do the Not So Berry. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this voiceover up here. Please let me know down below what you thought. Make sure you check out Stephanie's channel and subscribe, and whilst you're in that subscribing mood, make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. I've finally reached 300 subscribers and I'm very keen to see where the future of this channel will take me. So yeah, I shall see you all next time. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you later. Bye.